TTC. I am Dolphignition, a fairly new member of this group. Sure, last weekend we looked like absolute fools entering the Tigers' jungle at Cincinnati, where we had this game in the palm of our hands until Martrell Spate delivered unsportsmanlike conduct, which gave us our first 15-yard penalty, followed by another one in which T.J. McDonald hit a defenseless receiver. But I can't just blame two people. It's the whole team that has to be blamed. Because if something bad happens, why should you have your momentum go down? Those two penalties right there alone demolished our momentum. There's nothing worse than having your team do something stupid like that. Sure, the L given this last week to the Baltimore Ravens, the Philadelphia Eagles, the New York Giants, and the Jacksonville Jaguars sucked. Let alone San Francisco giving Arizona Cardinals their first win. But aside from me still sticking to this team, no matter how high or how low the tide is, none of those losses those teams got, even compared to this painful loss. You know, there was a lot of depression that happened this weekend, and all I asked for was the Miami Dolphins to keep going with more wins. And what did they do? They gave me hope. They made me smile. They made me look absolutely amazing! The first half. Until the second half came, it's as if they said, "Ha! Let's make these Dolphins weekend end in a tragedy as a way of a prank, bro." And so they did. To any other Dolphins who have broken TVs, furniture, windows, gaming consoles, and are cursing out Tannehill and this entire team in general, well, okay, if you cursed out Kenyon Drake, there's something wrong with you because he's the only player on this team that performed the best. But still, I honestly can't blame you all. We gave up 17 points before giving them an extra 10. And it's because, once again, just like what happened at Foxborough, well, okay, not exactly what happened at Foxborough, but a different, worse story, we fall into these traps. We have become a disgraceful team that flexes when we're winning only before choking the game away. And this team has got to put that hogwash to an end. But when you're a strong team supporter, sometimes, even with hard pills to swallow, we have to move on. Our next game is against the Chicago Bears. And finally, after 2 atrocious games on the road, we are back home in Hard Rock Stadium. Normally, to all the Chicago Bears, I'd be going off and going hardcore hate week on this video. The only thing stopping me from that is that I have loved ones up there. But still, let's get right into the hate week. Chicago Bears. How did last week's hibernation feel? Must have felt good. Although, the Cubs losing to the Rockies might have been hard to sleep on. Last time our Finns and the Bears played was in 2004. We beat you all 27-14 at Soldier Field. Ryan Tannehill was our quarterback, by the way. the same quarterback that got us that win. Will this be a different story? That'll depend. One thing I know about Bears fans in general is this. 1985 was their greatest year. I would even put money on the line for them going up against the 2007 New England Patriots. Strange as it may seem. But it's rather funny. They, along with everyone else, always bring up 1985 this, 1985 that. However, one thing people forget was that they nearly had a perfect season had it not been for one team led by two men, Steve Fuller and Dan Marino. And this organization right here. So yeah, Bears fans can hate the Packers, the Vikings, and the Lions all they want. But deep inside, if there's any city Chicago has hating rights on, it's none other than the Magic City of Miami. If that's not enough, let's not forget Steve Bartman helped the Marlins score our second World Series. So on behalf of all that BS that we gave to Chicago in the past, I just want to say, lo siento, Chicago. You want revenge for all that? Come and get it. We'll be waiting at the Hard Rock Stadium. Danny Amendola, Xavier Howard, whoever quarterback we have on our starting lineup, and especially Kenyon Drake will be ready. You can argue all you want about, man, the Miami Dolphins are going to get destroyed. If you can't keep the game in the hands against the Bengals, what hopes do you have of going up against this new Bears team that just woke up from their bye week? The answer to that is the attitude of Miami not giving a damn. And marching into that game. I expect Judah Tribe to enter this video with a pithy trash talk. Probably, I expect the F word somewhere in that comment. And I'm not talking about fuck, but that other word, you know, the synonym for a British cigar, the British word for a cigar. And he's probably going to preach to me about why the earth is flat. You see, this is why I have this right here. Yeah, you see this? It's a Geo Safari World. A very old game from the 90s where we had to answer geographical questions about where a certain location is. And you know, when people say the earth is flat, I decide to, give it a try to flatten this big globe. Try and understand their logic. I just can't do it. I just can't seem to flatten it. I guess maybe the truth about science is giving me a clue right there. We're getting off topic. Chicago Bears, get one thing straight. Miami Dolphins will go up and down. But don't let our terrible performance fool you. We're going in. We're going to score a win because the Miami Dolphins are like that. They upset their fans the previous game, only to then shock the world with a surprising win. So watch out, Chicago. because the Hard Rock Stadium is ready for you guys. When we win, Frank Sinatra's kind of town will be in for one rude awakening. So to my fellow Finn Nation, Finn Squad, or whatever it's called, ignore the haters. Let's shock the world! And let's get this win. Fins up.